Let's talk about the games happened on Monday, March 14th. Let's go into the first game. The first game is the LA Clippers lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Clippers do not have a good schedule. In this week they got 3 games, and next week they only have 2. So really got to think about, Yvonne absolutely went off, 24 points, 14 rebounds, and he has been playing really well lately, getting huge minutes as well. Unfortunately, 45th ranked player in the last 2 weeks. Unfortunately, they only have 2 games, and if you don't need the rebound and the blocks, this is somebody you could think about dropping next week. If you do need them, only 2 games, that's fine. You could drop him. They have a game next week on Tuesday and Saturday just to look ahead. You could drop him after the last game. And a bunch of other guys got huge minutes because Robert Covington was out. He usually gets around 20 to 25 minutes. Reggie Jackson was out due to rest. Marcus Morris Sr. was also out. So we have Nicholas Batum playing 33 minutes. Usually he doesn't play over 30. Amir Coffey coming and play 40. Luke Kennard played 40. Terrence Mann played 44. So all those guys were a good stream for just 1 game. Once all the guys come back on Wednesday, they don't really need to be streamed anymore. And Wednesday this week, we got a lot of games. We got 12 games actually. So you probably don't need, some of these guys are not your top 10 players. So you're just going to leave them on the bench anyways. And in the playoff, it's about, getting the most number of games. You don't really care about any upside player. It's just who's producing now. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, Yvonne Mobley, yes, another great game. And he's going to continue doing it without Jared Allen. Who knows when this guy is coming back. 30 points, just a 6 rebound. And again, free throw is a big issue for him. Has been a big issue for him in the last couple of months. 3 for 6 here, but everything else is super good. 2 steals and 2 blocks. Isaac Okoro out of nowhere had a 20-point game, but can we really trust him to do this next game? I don't really. Let's just see. Cavaliers got a back-to-back. Yeah, they got a back-to-back Friday and Saturday. So if you need somebody, if you don't have 10 players on Friday, think about streaming some of the Cleveland Cavalier guys. You could think about possibly streaming Isaac Okoro for some defensive stats mainly. But this game, he did it all really. Only took 6 field goals, 13 free throws, and a plus 21. Darius Garland hasn't been shooting the ball well, 8 for 21, but 13 assists and a steal, 4 threes, still all good. Lauren Markkanen need to be rostered as well. Kevin Love, he needs to be rostered over Kevin Love. Kevin Love with Jared Allen out playing just 17 minutes. But again, if you need rebound and threes, he's still providing in those categories. It's just absolutely no defensive stats. And he usually gets a few assists as well. And Karis LeVert, this is his first game back, coming off the bench. Sure, by Wednesday you could put him out there, put him in a lineup. He should be getting 30 minutes soon, providing solid numbers. Let's go to the next game. The Atlanta Hawks beat the Portland Trailblazers. Portland Trailblazers at this point, Anthony Simons is going to get reevaluated in a week or 2. So is he even going to come back by April? So if even the playoffs, no IR, he's a drop. A bunch of other guys like Josh Giddey, they might come back and play a few games. But what's the point? Josh Hart, in the meanwhile, is the number 1 guy. Again, I think he had a 40-point game. Again, 31 point. Brandon Williams, we have to look at him as a possible pickup. And Trendon Watford as well. Both guys going to get over 30 minutes. Both guys going to put up some numbers on this team with all the guys out. And we will look at Portland's schedule. This week, they got 4 games. That's great. Even Drew Eubanks, we got to look at him. He provides solid enough field goal and rebound. So if you need those 2 categories, he doesn't really offer that many defensive stats. But, a lot of these 3 guys on the Portland Trailblazers could be streamed and picked up. And if Anthony Simons comes back, we can let Brandon Williams go. But Trenton Watford has been playing super well. Same thing with Brandon Williams whenever he gets minutes, and Drew Eubanks. CJLB, though, had 13 rebounds, 5 assists. Those were great. But he's just super inconsistent. Can we really count on him to give us 13 rebounds? Usually he's going to give you a little bit of everything. But you just don't know what you're going to get out of this guy. But for Drew Eubanks, for example, he's gonna provide you solid field goal and points. Solid field goal and rebounds. For the Atlanta Hawks, 122 points they scored. Trae Young, again, another big game. My God. It's 3 games in a row now. He scored over 40 points. In the last 2 weeks, he's the 8th ranked player. Given how great he's playing in the past 2 weeks, yeah, he's averaging 32 points, shooting 46% from the field, taking 21 field goals and 92% from the free throw line. So he's been unbelievable lately. Another great game over a bad Portland team. So he's going to put up some numbers. Delon Wright started because John Collins was out. They also had Gallinari out. So 2 power forwards were out. So they started Delon Wright and gave him 30 minutes. So no one could see this coming. I don't think I would trust Delon Wright getting 30 minutes next game, even if both guys were out. Maybe just due to matchup reasons, they wanted to go small. I wouldn't trust it, but if Delon Wright plays 30 minutes, then he's obviously a must roster. Clint Capella got his 28 minutes, while the rookie Okungwu got 20. Okungwu, he hasn't been blocking a lot of shots lately, but if he just gets between 20 and 25, his block upset is always there and good field goal. So you need those two in the playoffs. They have 3 more games left. Feel free to stream him. DeAndre Hunter, Kevin Huerter, they just put up very similar stats. Both didn't shoot the ball well, but put up some defensive stats. So that's fine. And Bogdanovic only got 24 minutes this game. So you would think with John Collins and Gallinari out, Bogdanovic would get a few minutes. But, with Trae Young going off like that, they don't really need another guy like Bogdanovic, and he was also struggling. I would still hold on to him, although this is a rough game. I do expect him to get 30 minutes next game. Let's look at the next game. The Denver Nuggets went to Philly, beat the Sixers. That's pretty impressive, 114-110. Jokic played just 33 minutes, had 5 turnovers, but again, against Joel Embiid, this is the battle of MVPs. These 2 guys just putting up unbelievable numbers. 22 points, 13 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. Overall, pretty good line, but struggled a little bit from the free throw line as well. And Will Barton, they got 4 games this week, so you could definitely stream guys like Will Barton, Monty Morris, even Bones Hyland. He's been playing well, getting pretty good minutes. So they got 3 more games left. Let's see. He is the 101st ranked player in the last 2 weeks in just 20 minutes. So this game, he got 30 minutes. It'll be interesting to see how many minutes he got next game. But I don't mind a stream from him if they got a back-to-back coming up. For the Denver Nuggets, yeah, they don't have a back-to-back. That's the tricky thing. And all their games are pretty high volume. Like, if they have a back-to-back Wednesday and Thursday, I don't mind pick up Bones Hyland and just to see what he does and how many minutes he gets for some points, threes, and assists. Monty Morris could be a stream. Will Barton, like I said, could be a stream. Jeff Green and Aaron Gordon, these guys, they only played 20 minutes respectively. They gave a lot of minutes to JaMychal Green, who's been playing well. Austin Rivers has been starting in the absence of Will Barton. Now he also gets 20 minutes. So these guys, we don't really worry about them. They're not guaranteed to play 30. And even when they do play 30, they don't really put up big lines. For the Sixers, Matisse Thybulle, man, so I think I checked his stat. Like he was getting no defensive stats, and now this game absolutely exploded. It was a really good start to the week. If you're in a playoff matchup in category leagues, him getting 6 steals, and he only played 26 minutes, 6 steals and 2 blocks, absolutely crazy. And the Sixers, they got 4 more games. You need a defensive stat. You gotta continue to hold on to it. Tobias Harris, another very, very subpar game. 10 points. And this is just what's going to... people think Harden coming over might help him open things up. Sure. Theoretically, it should. But, usage takes a dip. And it's not like he's hitting shot at a higher clip. Joel Embiid, another great game. Only 9 rebounds, but everything else, man, he's just so good this year. And had 5 fouls as well. Tyrese Maxey, 19 points. Yeah, he's gonna give you points and threes, but the worry with him in fantasy is just not enough defensive stats. Again, 0-0 here, and Harden finally had a good game from the field, 6 for 11. 11 for 12, almost a triple-double, but, didn't get the win. But Harden has been struggling the past couple of games. Let's see. Denver is a pretty good team, so let's see if he can bounce back, put up a 30-point triple-double versus some bad teams. Let's look at the next team. The Charlotte Hornets, 130. They scored 134 points versus Oklahoma City, 116. Miles Bridges could not miss a shot. Sure, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder we're talking about. 5 for 6 from the 3, 27 points. PJ Washington, we should also pick him up. But the thing is, they only got 3 games, so 2 more games left this week. So if you're in a tight matchup after Wednesday, they only have 1 game in 4 days. You could think about dropping PJ and stream somebody else coming in. Mason Plumlee, same thing. Even though he had a great game, if you try to close the matchup, you got to think about cutting him after Wednesday. Terry Rozier, you should not touch him. Another good game, man. 4 threes, 30 points, 2 steals. He's being, I think, the most consistent player on this team this year in fantasy. Like, even Miles Bridges is up and down. LaMelo Ball is up and down, but Terry Rozier, at least ever since Gordon Hayward went down, he has been absolutely consistent. LaMelo Ball, yep, 21 points, 7 assists. I mean, those look more like top 30 players, not the top 15 players that we used to see him. Last week, 47th ranked player, and ever since he got COVID, he has not been the same. So that's something to think about. But if I can take him next year in the early second round in category leagues, I probably would, because he's young, he still has room to grow, and versus many other top 10 players who's gonna rest a lot. We know he's young and fairly healthy. Not gonna rest games and also have upside because his game could improve. And now they have Isaiah Thomas coming in, playing 16. Kelly Oubre Jr. used to get 30 minutes, 25 to 30. Now he only gets 16. Jaden. So they're just playing a lot of guys at this moment. So nobody really have any value. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, Trey Mann is definitely worth a pickup. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, let's see. They have 4 games this week. Sure, I don't mind streaming him. And Darius Bazley, this is what we expect him to be when we drafted this guy 2 years ago, right? There was a running joke: do not leave the draft without Darius Bazley, and he absolutely sucked last year. Bad efficiency across the board, even though getting 30 minutes and not doing anything. Another great game, 25 points, 4 threes. No defensive stats this game, but this is back-to-back really good games. And yeah, he's a must roster at the moment. And Oliver started, and Isaiah Roby only get 9 minutes. So Isaiah Roby is a drop everywhere. He played 16 minutes. Last game, only 9 minutes. So they just giving those minutes to Pokusevski as well. I don't know what happened, but Isaiah Roby did have 4 fouls in 9 minutes, but even with no foul trouble, I don't think he would have cracked 20 minutes. So I think we could drop him and feel good about it. Theo Maledon got 30 minutes. I'm not a huge fan of Theo Maledon because, last year he was able to get 30 minutes, and all the usage, he wasn't able to do anything. So I obviously prefer Trey Mann over him. Pokusevski also, they got 3 more games. We could look at him. He did a bit of everything. 5 rebounds, 5 assists. The worry with him is the efficiency, but a lot of interesting players we could, on this Oklahoma City Thunder team as we get to the end of the season. Because if you give them 30 minutes, they all could put up some numbers. And Shea, of course. But just don't get hurt, Shea. If you get hurt, you are. If you have an ankle injury, you're not coming back. Let's look at the next game. The Minnesota Timberwolves scored 149 points. Beat the San Antonio Spurs 149-139. My God, this game, Karl Anthony Towns 60 points versus the Spurs. This is a career high for him. Just could not miss. Went to the free throw line 16 times, 6 turnovers, 17 rebounds, 3 assists. Yeah, absolutely insane. And yeah, I mean, not much to say. Top 5 player in category leagues, and fairly healthy one, unlike many other guys in that top 10. Anthony Edwards, well, with Cat going off like this, he only took 7 shots. Not looking for his shots, not being aggressive. What are you gonna do? I think something is still bothering him. He has not been himself around the All-Star break. He had an ankle injury and many other things. So hopefully he can recover soon and just put up numbers. Vanderbilt was out this game, so we could stream Jaden McDaniels whenever Vanderbilt was out. But again, Timberwolves, do they have a good schedule this week? Minnesota Timberwolves, yeah, they don't have a good schedule. And the games are on pretty high volume days. Jaden McDaniels has good upside, can provide good defensive numbers. Patrick Beverley also plays super well, also a must roster. 20 points, 8 assists, a steal and block. They all play well versus the Spurs. 149 points was being scored. D'Lo, 3 steals, 6 assists. Great efficiency as well. And look at the San Antonio Spurs. Devin Vassell, yep, got his 31 minutes, 2 steals and 3 blocks, 17 points with 2 threes. Yeah, he's a must roster, in my opinion. Even though before this game he hasn't been good in the last 2 weeks. Ever since the Derek White trade. Well, 94th ranked player. Need to be rostered, especially if you need defensive stats, some points and some threes. Those 4 categories really good. And he usually grab a few rebounds as well. DeJounte Murray, 30 points, 12 assists, just the 4 rebounds, but again, did it all. Really good, great stuff. And Jacob Poeltl scored 21 and 3 blocks. Very, very solid. Just Jacob Poeltl has been pretty solid all year. And he works great in pound free throw, pound threes category. And Keldon Johnson went off 34 points as well with 5 threes. They got 3 more games this week, so a lot of the Spurs guys, you could just keep writing them. Just write it out. We'll look at the next game. The Washington Wizards lost to the Warriors 112-126. No surprise there. The Warriors got Draymond Green back. So, coincidentally, Draymond didn't even start. Played just 20 minutes, had 6 assists, and Curry went off this game. Curry had 5 points last time around, 6 points, had 46, destroyed the Wizards. They're not a great defensive team. Kristaps Porzingis, they're not playing him 35 minutes on this team now. 27 minutes, but doesn't matter. 27 minutes, he could put 25 points and 8 rebounds with no blocks. Sure, but he's gonna miss the back-to-backs. But he's still playing, so that's great. And the Wizards, they have a back-to-back coming up Friday and Saturday. So just plan accordingly. If he gets an out tag, you could put him in ARR and stream that spot. So. But Daniel Gafford is another guy, even though he only played 20 to 25 minutes, if you need field goal and blocks, there's only a couple guys out there. Daniel Gafford is one. Okongwu is pretty good. And all those guys, they could go off for like 5 blocks and really just change, that category, that one category. If they go off for 5 blocks for that week, that could really change the tide if you're in a close blocks matchup. Corey Kispert, not really interested. Ron Neto had 4 steals and 7 assists. That's pretty impressive, but only get they're splitting minutes with him and Ish Smith at the point guard position. So both guys, if you need assist, right, Friday and Saturday back to back, you could look to stream both guys. Danny Advia coming play 28, but the minutes is not consistent. Not too interested. I'm Kyle Kuzma. He's been falling off a little bit, just 11 points, and KCP, sure, another guy you could stream on their back to back. For the Warriors, Andrew Wiggins was out. Jordan Poole, I haven't really talked about him. He has been unbelievable in the last week. He's actually the 23rd ranked player in the last 2 weeks. Obviously, he played 8 games, and you have guys coming in and out, but he's averaged over 20 points. Yeah, he is averaging 22.6 points and 3.8 threes in the last 2 weeks while shooting 57%. So that's definitely not sustainable. But if he's playing like this, we just got to add him and hold on to him, But once Andrew Wiggins comes back, I do expect his minutes to come down a little bit. He's going to come off the bench, I'm pretty sure. But he's also providing really solid defensive numbers this game as well, 2 steals and a block. Jonathan Kuminga, who's been getting a lot of minutes, But I do think once Draymond Green is gonna start, and how many minutes is Kuminga gonna get. He does offer some good defensive stats. Let's check out Kuminga's rankings. Yeah, his ranking is not great. 111th ranked player, averaging just 0.5 steals and 0.5 blocks. So other than this game, he hasn't really been providing that many defensive stats. He had 5 personal fouls, so we could just leave him on the waiver wire, I think. Kevon Looney, with Draymond back, he still grabbed 7 rebounds and played 24 minutes. But there was a period of time he was grabbing 10 rebounds. I don't think that's going to happen once Draymond Green ramps up. Klay Thompson, again, struggled. 7 for 19, got his 20 points and 4 threes. And Curry, 47 points. This is the early season Curry that we used to know, just dropping 50 points every other game. This is a good start. And the rest of the guys, Draymond Green is good to see him back. He was a plus 24 in 20 minutes. So they got him back. I do expect Curry to play better, because Draymond Green really helps running the offense and helps Curry. All right, let's go to the next game. The Bulls somehow lost to the Kings at Sacramento. Well, for all the top East teams, every loss matters at this point. So, after this loss, they're 3.5 games behind the Miami Heat. So, if they can get 3rd seed, that would be good. So they can play like the Cavaliers. If they're the 4th and 5th, it's Celtics team is a lot tougher than the Cavaliers. I think the top 5 teams in the East, they're all kind of like in one tier. But when you look at the Cavaliers and the Raptors, obviously you got the Nets on 8th. So that's interesting dynamic, because let's say you get the 2nd seed, but you end up playing the Nets. Because the Nets, they're not gonna catch up to the 6th seed. I don't think they're 4 games behind. So they're most likely going to be like a 7th or 8th seed, and they're having to play the Miami Heat or the Bucks or whoever ends up being the top 2 seed. So you might end up being the 3rd seed might work out best for you, because you could avoid the Nets in the first round. But let's see what teams do. If they're trying to lose some games to avoid certain opponents, I think that if you can avoid playing the Nets in the first round, I think you should. This game, Vucevic had some injury, came back, had a double-double, 23 and 10. That's great, 3 threes. Zach LaVine, also, ever since his knee issue, he hasn't been playing great. But still, 27 points is good. 6 assists, 9 for 9. But again, one of the biggest issues with him is the lack of defensive stats. Alec Caruso, I think if you need defensive stats and assists, let's go pick him up. Struggled this game, had 4 turnovers in 27 minutes. But, I trust him to bounce back. And we can just drop Kobe White everywhere now. And the thing is, Lonzo is still not close. So we could still just ride with Don Samu for a few more games. The Bulls, let's check out their schedule, actually. They only have 3 games. But next week, they have a back-to-back to start the week. So a lot of the Bulls guys, let's go pick them up, especially Caruso. DeMar DeRozan, 21 points, not the best game from DeMar. The man is dropping 30 points pretty much every game, to be honest. And Javonte Green only got 17 minutes. But yeah, Caruso needs to be picked up if he's out there on the waiver wire, especially if you need some steals. He could really, the man's averaging 1.9 steals in under 30 minutes. So yeah, I think we should all have him in our lineup. And steals, I don't think that many teams pound steals, so he would work well on pretty much everybody's team. For the Kings, Sabonis was in and out of the lineup. He went 10 for 10 from the free throw line. You're not gonna get that 10 for 10 free throw performance from him. I don't know when next time it would happen. Maybe never. But this is great free throw shooting. De'Aaron Fox played 41. Yeah, Fox really, after the Tyrese Halliburton trade, he just a new man, completely different. De'Aaron Fox, in the last 2 weeks, he is the 21st round player. That's what we expect De'Aaron Fox to do when we draft this guy, averaging 32 points and 2.7 threes with 1.7 steals and 7.4 assists while shooting 52%. That's just how big of a difference Like if you add De'Aaron Fox pre-trade, pre-Tyrese Halliburton trade, he looks horrible, absolutely horrible. And now you look at his numbers now, look at his efficiency numbers. It's 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 almost two different players. So sometimes a player's performance could change so much, you know, with just one player gone, right? Obviously, mentally that did something for him too. I mean, it's like the organization is trusting him and that kind of stuff. But he's just being very, very complete different player if you look at the numbers. So great stuff. Dante DiVincenzo started this game because Justin Holiday was out. We could stream him. They have a game on Wednesday and Friday, but again, those are all high volume days. It'll be hard to stream guys. But if you need the threes and defensive stats and points, we could look at him. Trey Lyles get 24 minutes, grabbed 11 rebounds. Yeah, don't really trust him. Harrison Barnes took just 8 shots. Yep, because De'Aaron Fox got all the shots, had 6 assists. That's great. Still had 2 blocks. Harrison Barnes is a guy that they don't have a game on the weekend in a tight matchup. You gotta let him go. Stream somebody else Saturday and Sunday. And Rashawn Holmes, with Sabonis around, he's getting 10 to 15 minutes. Not even, to be honest. And Donovan Mitchell, I don't think he's really fantasy relevant. He won't be this year. Let's look at the next game. The Bucks beat the Utah Jazz, so that's a great win for the Bucks. They're trying to catch up to the first seed. 2 games behind the Miami Heat. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 30 points. Sure, easy game for him. 50 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. Very, very consistent numbers out of Giannis every single game. Chris Middleton, 23 points and still in a block with 2 threes. Yeah, the big three has been very consistent, I would say. Like the big issue with Jrue Holiday and Chris Middleton in the playoffs especially is that they are not consistent. At least this year in the regular season, they'll be very, very consistent, I would say. A really good game from Jrue Holiday, actually. 5 steals is huge, 7 assists, 29 points. And Bobby Portis, Brook Lopez is back after out for the entire season. I do worry about, are they going to ramp up Lopez? They have a couple weeks to do it. So if Lopez ever gets to 20, Bobby Portis is going to lose some minutes. He played 28. He's still a hold, but that's the worry. And I wouldn't hesitate. Like if once Lopez ramps up, getting 20 minutes and Bobby Portis getting 25, I would just let Bobby Portis go. Grayson Allen hit 3 threes. Sure, he's just a 3-point streamer. And for the Jazz, they started Daniel House. Very interesting. They had Bogdanovich out, but he only played 7 minutes, so let's not worry about him at all. Royce O'Neal had 2 steals. Yeah, if you need defensive stats and rebound and a little bit assist, he's the guy to go to turn to. And Donovan Mitchell has not been great in the last week, and for a stretch he was shooting over 50%, but now in the last week his percentage is in the dumpsters. Another horrible shooting night, but if he pounding field goals, that's totally fine. 10 for 32, 31%. He took 32 field goals. That's a lot. 29 points. Forced his way to get 29 points with 5 threes. Conley's stat looked pretty solid, and Mike Conley, another great game. He's waking up at the end of the season. That is interesting. With Joe Ingles gone, I do think that helps him a little bit. He, especially when he's not playing alongside Donovan Mitchell, right? Because with Joe Ingles gone, he has to be a more aggressive, facilitate, run the offense, just be more aggressive without Joe Ingles, that playmaker. So good stuff from him. Jordan Clarkson getting 31 minutes in. They have 4 games this week, so if you stream him, just write it out. 4 points and threes. Yeah, too bad they don't have a back-to-back. They have a game on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All right, let's go to the last game of the night. This game was kind of embarrassing. The Lakers, they scored, what was the score? I mean, the other night they played the Phoenix Suns. They were down 48-22, 49-22. And this game, they started the game down like 30 points, something like that. They only end up losing 11. They probably made up something by when it was garbage time. But all the Raptor guys, they play high minutes again. They play Fred VanVleet 40 minutes. Yeah, Fred VanVleet, no good since coming back from an injury. Just every game, just shooting the ball really badly. and 7 assists is nice and a steal, but if we check what he's providing us, he's providing us 123 ranked players. He's coming back, 15 points, 15.7 points, 2.3 threes. The rebound is solid. He's averaging 7 rebounds, but shooting 32%. He's actually probably hurting you more than he's helping you in a lot of categories. But obviously you don't drop him. Too good to drop, but yeah, it has not been great. Gary Trent Jr. plays well. 28 points, went to the free throw. He doesn't usually get to the line that much. Still in block, and his crazy good campaign continues. Top 40 player for the entire season, and the defensive numbers are there. It's there. We are at the end of the season now, and he's still putting up numbers like this. Precious Chua was able to start, able to get 33 minutes, a good game, a double-double with 2 steals and 2 blocks. And Chris Boucher getting 20 minutes. Precious Chua played well, but I don't really trust this guy. The Raptors also do have a back. They only have 4 games. They also 4 games this week and have a back-to-back Sunday and Monday. So I don't mind it. And they played the Lakers again. That's what I'm looking at on Friday. So maybe Ochua could have another huge game. I mean, whoever plays, and especially teams like this, I think Raptors, they're gonna have success, especially if you drive in. Lakers have almost no resistance in the paint when LeBron is starting at the center, right? At this point, he's Pascal Siakam, great, 27 points. Yep, everybody plays well. Scotty Barnes, 9 for 17, 21 points. Scotty Barnes has been huge ever since OG went down, and we don't know when OG is coming back. I think they listed him questionable or something like that. They're deciding to do a surgery or play him. But that's the thing, with the finger issue, I think it's going to impact him a little bit as well, like even when he does come back, especially with his shooting. So we'll see what happens with him. Then we look at the Lakers. LeBron plays 40 minutes. Whew. And was it a back-to-back for LeBron? For the Lakers? Well, it doesn't matter. If you drafted LeBron, well, they do have a back-to-back Friday and Saturday. So stream guys like Malik Monk is a must. Or Carmelo Anthony or Taylor Horton Tucker when that back-to-back comes around. But yeah, playing LeBron 40 minutes, and he was a minus 21, so it's not like he... and Russell Westbrook in his 35 minutes this game, at least he was a +4. But Russell Westbrook, seriously, we need to think about dropping this guy. Depending on a playoff matchup, if you don't need the assist, and this game he only had 4 assists anyways, it's just a mess from Russell Westbrook. Something to think about if you're trying to win efficiencies. Although he shot 6 for 7 from the line this game, but if you close in those 3 efficiency categories, absolutely drop him in category leagues. LeBron, not much to talk about. I think he scored 30K points, 10K rebound, 10K assists. The only player who's ever done it. So LeBron is gonna get his numbers as long as he's playing. He is not gonna retire. He's not going to slow down until he broke Kareem's record. We can count on that, and hit 4 threes as well. So good stuff. And he's been making a lot of threes. That's one thing really different about him this year. And yeah, as long as he's playing, we're all good. And Malik Monk had some foul trouble, played just 24. We got to roster him. He's been playing really well lately. And Carmelo Anthony, points and threes, pretty solid. And Taylor Horton Tucker, 27 minutes, had 5 fouls. But if we look at it, really good line, 20 points. Some of those numbers were put in the garbage time, of course. 5 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals and a block. But the back-to-back coming up, we could stream him. And that's it for all the games, guys. I will see you next time.